Okay, this is interesting. This is actually the second take that I'm doing of this, but the first one didn't actually save. But one thing that I've noticed is that a lot of companies have no idea what their real sales cycle is. Most companies have no idea how their deals are closing, and they don't know what success really looks like. Everybody likes to pretend that success means that deals are coming in, right? That's what we're all just holding on. That is the most easy metric. Did a deal come in? Then suddenly things are going well. But that's not really being realistic in order to measure the success or the challenges that your sales team or agency are facing. It cannot be on the conversion of deals, because that's not quite really the story that's there. Let me give you an example. If you were to see Usain Bolt run down the street, you would think that he's the fastest man in the world. You would think that he's running pretty fast, but you're not really quite sure, nor can you measure just how fast he's running until you see someone running next to him, or until you yourself try to run next to Usain Bolt, and then you'll see just how fast that man really is. And more often than not, what you're having are sales managers, companies that are either hiring salespeople or who are hiring an agency, and they themselves have never actually done a cold outbound campaign for a prolonged period of time. So they're actually completely unaware in terms of what it takes to close a deal. So what they're listening to is the blogs, the podcasts, and metrics on charts in terms of what should be, but they have not factored in the fact that sales is done based on someone else making a decision about you. Someone else is making that decision, not the salesperson that's internal. The other person's making a decision. So the sell itself, that decision is the result of active prospecting, active pitching. So you need to be looking more at the sales activity than just looking at the result, which are the conversions, because that's the one thing, shockingly, you don't have control over. No product sells itself, okay? No matter how much you don't want to hear that, it's true. And no service is a fit for everyone. But ultimately, you need to set your expectations right and have a proper level of expectation to realize that the success or challenges of your sales team is not based on what you think it is. It has to be on what's actually there. And what you can see that's actually there is whether or not your sales team's following up. If they're not following up, they are definitely not performing. They're not doing active outreach on a daily basis, every hour, right? That is a challenging sales team, right? Or a challenged sales team completely. And also at the same time, they're not setting proper metrics for themselves to be able to alert you if those metrics are not being met, i.e. if they're not getting responses to emails, or if their phone calls are not connecting consistently when they're doing outreach calls. Those things are metrics that you can control, you could see, and you could actually predict whether or not closing will happen. But to shift your mind to closing as a measurement of success is very similar to looking at Usain Bolt running down the street and just making an assumption on how fast he's going. It's a bit of a backwards way of thinking. I think more companies need to venture more towards measuring activity over just measuring how many conversions happened this week or how many meetings happened this week, because that's the one thing that you don't have control over.